Welcome to a festive episode of 843 TV. I'm your host, Annalisa Itkor.
And I'm Lisa Richardson. And today we're coming to you from the Nicholas Clubhouse and Colleton River.
Now, our first guests, two lovely ladies, part of Operation Santa here in Colleton River. We have Marcia Murphy and Doris Beatty.
Then up next is Bill Spatafora. He is a member here. He's going to share all about the Colleton Cares program.
So stick around for a heartwarming episode of 843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Beaufort comes to speak.
TV,
where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV. Today we are at the absolutely gorgeous Jack Nicholas Clubhouse and Colleton River, and today we have a special heartwarming segment where we're going to be learning all about the special Operation Santa Claus project happening here today that we are grateful to just witness. Joining us are our first guests, Marcia Murphy and Doris Beatty. Welcome, ladies.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
We had the pleasure of spending some time before we started taping in that wonderful Santa's workshop, quite literally. Share with us what's happening.
Well, it's all part of Operation Santa Claus, and this is our 18th year. The mission is basically twofold. The first thing is to provide holiday presents for our local Bluffton children in need. And the second thing is to provide some year-round support as far as basic needs of food and clothing and those kinds of things to children identified to us through the school social workers.
You know, I have to say, when I walked into that room today, I mean, think about what Christmas is these days. Go, 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 shop, 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 party, party, party. We're thinking about so many things that we kind of stop and forget about Christmas. And when I walked in that room today, that was the start of my Christmas. It was official because I literally got goosebumps. I mean, not only are you ladies all decked out, I mean, I love it. You've got your Christmas, you had your little Santa dealy bobbers on. There's a woman in there with the most amazing Santa dress I've ever seen in my life. In fact, I'm gonna order it as soon as we're done with the show. But I mean, beyond that, watching the community and the fellowship, I mean, it was just amazing. Can you speak a little bit, Doris, to what it's like to participate in this day?
It's really wonderful, and I think the members, when they come and do the wrapping, and a lot of them have shopped before for these gifts, I think it's the start of their Christmas as well. I've heard members say, you know, this kicks off their Christmas season, their Christmas spirit. They realize that they're able to wrap, and these gifts are going to special kids that need something for Christmas. And it makes them feel good, and I know for Marcia and I, it is a very, very rewarding experience because we hear from the social workers and some of the people that are on the receiving end of this, some of the special moments they have with the kids that get these gifts.
Well, and there's some pretty amazing gifts in there. It has got to be absolutely magical for these children. Tell us a little bit about that process of giving the gifts. How are they distributed? What is that experience like for the child?
One of the things we do, what we do is we ask the social workers, and the reason we contact the social workers and have a really nice relationship with them, they're on the front edge. They know which families and which kids really need help, and they're able to let us know. So in fact, I think if you saw the bicycle that was there, yes. The social workers said this child is 14 years old, and she has never had a bicycle, has never ridden a bicycle. And this is something that she would just absolutely love to be able to do. And so we were able to fund and get her a bicycle.
Not any bicycle, it is an amazing bicycle.
But she wanted a blue bicycle, so we were able to do that. And so we can just imagine how her eyes will light up when she gets this bicycle. Yes. And
gets to me a little bit.
And we've had another occasion that this was not Christmas time, but the social worker, they call us sometimes during the year if they have special circumstances. And there was a child he was kind of bullied at school, and they vandalized his bicycle. And it was hardly rideable, but he was riding it to school anyway because that was his way to get to school. And the security officer at the school said, you cannot ride this bicycle because it has no brakes. So they told him he cannot ride this to school. So she called us because the family could not replace a bicycle. And so we were able to get him a bicycle. And I think that just makes you feel like you've just done something.
Yes, absolutely.
Really,
and we're here in Bluffton, and we're here at this beautiful Colleton River, but the need is so great right outside the gate in our community. And in fact, this is not the only time of year, like you mentioned, that you have the operation. This is a year-round. So share some other ways that you do help throughout the entire year.
Okay. We provide help with Bluffton Backpack Buddies, because several years ago we became aware through the school social worker at the Bluffton Middle School that kids were coming into school on Monday morning and they were hungry. And we contacted Sue and Ken Krupp at Bluffton Backpack Buddies and said, well, what can we do to help? So now we help them fund a box program that sends a box home at, periodically throughout the year with the children to help feed the entire family. So this is done for the middle schools as well as for the high school. And then during the holidays, what we do is we pack a super box. So we actually purchase food and get our membership involved in packing that super box. So hopefully this will tide the kids over, those hungry teens, over the holiday season. And I think that's really, don't you think, Doris, it's gotten our members more involved in what's really gone on here. That, we're a community that's plopped down when we've got 60 to 70% of our local kids are on free or reduced lunches. So there's a tremendous need out here. And what we do through the school social workers as far as funding their clothes closets, their supply closets, gives them the opportunity, as Doris has said, and also we're just a phone call away if they need additional help.
Right.
Then they know that we've got the funding to do that, and thanks to our generosity of our membership.
You were mentioning membership. Now, I'm kind of curious about how many Colleton River residents participate, are members.
It's funny, I added it up last night. Over 150 will be involved in this project as far as doing shopping, as serving on the committee. We have over 20 members on the committee itself, and then also as far as doing the wrapping and the delivery today, and then baking cookies for the teenagers at the Bluffton Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
Teenagers are our specialty. People tend to forget the teens.
Yes.
I think Doris can tell you.
Right. One of the things we thought about when we think about, because we try to fill niches that are not filled by other organizations, because there's a lot of generosity in the whole area and the whole communities. But it seemed like most programs stopped at 12, toys and things. And then the families, they expect these teenagers not to get anything, and to understand why, because the younger children, if they get anything at all, it will go to the younger children. And the teenagers are pretty much left out because of necessity as much as anything. So we did go to the social workers in the high school, May River High School, and ask, what can we do at Christmas time? And so we do have a list from them of the kids, the teens, that will not receive anything at Christmas because of their situations.
Right.
And so we are able to fill some of that need for them. And also, it's kind of mind-boggling, but the high school, there is a lot of, there are some homeless teenagers that are trying desperately to graduate high school, and they're doing it under very difficult circumstances. So to give them a little something at Christmas this is something they could never do themselves. And so they.
And at the end of the day, it's all about this, not just this holiday giving season, but just giving back and serving from the heart. And you can see that comes through with how you're talking about these children and the situations they're in. And that's just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yes, it is. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to need a Kleenex after this. Really, truly wonderful stories, wonderful things that you're doing here at Colleton River. And we will be right back in just a few moments with some more 843 TV.
Welcome back to 843 TV here at the Jack Nicklaus Clubhouse in Colleton River, where today we have a very special and heartfelt episode when we're talking about all the wonderful things that happen here for the community at Colleton River. Joining us now is Bill Spadafora. Bill, you're going to share about a special program that you have year-round here at the community called Colleton Cares. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my part in Colleton Cares deals with Habitat for Humanity, which is sponsoring and actually working on homes. We started building our first home. I started working with Habitat in 2001, and then learned a little bit about it and found out how to sponsor a home. Had a few other people working with me, and from that it grew and grew, and we've sponsored a bunch of homes and have a number of people working. It's seasonal because a lot of people leave in the summertime.
Now, what exactly does Colleton River do in terms of participating with Habitat for Humanity?
Well, there's two facets. Most of our folks, the biggest number of our folks work on the fundraising or making a donation. It's a tremendous group in Colleton River, very philanthropic, very giving. We have a number also that work physically on homes as well as donating. And when the first home we did, excuse me, we had, of course we were younger, 17, 16 years ago. We had quite a number of people working on the homes, and then on the Habitat home that we actually sponsored. So we raised money, then it was $35,000. Now it's up to $70,000 to sponsor a home. So at the beginning, we had a large group actually working, many people donating. And then subsequent to that, some continued to work. It didn't have to be on a Colleton River home. It was just giving back to the community. And then over the years, we've built, we're on our 11th home that's coming up.
Wow.
Very significant.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen some of these communities from the infancy stages and today where they are as almost a full community. So what a neat thing to see the progress and the investment of the time and work over the years just fold out.
Well, you were talking earlier about the Hilton Head Island, Glenwood, I think it's called, the
Mm-hmm.
Glen?
The Glen, just the Glen. Right.
And now you participated in that as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Colleton River sponsored and worked on the first home in the Glen.
That's cool.
We had done about 9 homes before that, and we had raised funding to do another home. In addition, we raised they sort of bogged down on the infrastructure, and they had a shortfall, major shortfall of money, and we went to bat for them and raised a considerable amount of money for the infrastructure. Nothing to do with any homes, just building the roadways and so forth.
Gotcha.
But we built the first home in the Glen, both financially, and a lot of people worked on it.
And that really has grown into quite the community. It's got to be an amazing feeling to drive around in this area and you just have that, you see that family living in that home and say, you know what, we participated in that. We participated in giving someone a home.
Habitat to me is very special, and a lot of people don't really understand that, when you give to Habitat, it's a gift that keeps giving.
Yeah, it's a hand up and not a hand out, as they noted.
Exactly. A lot of people feel that, somebody gets a Habitat home, they just gave it to them.
No, absolutely not.
They get a 0% mortgage. Those payments that they make go to building other homes, which is fantastic. I mean,
That is spectacular.
So it's in a sense, like we said, helping those get a head start to get on the right track to do better for themselves, and that's a great thing. The ladies prior to you were sharing all these wonderful things that happen in the community. So you mentioned you've been down here for a long time.
Right.
You called yourself original maybe of 15 years.
Part-time, yeah, since 2000.
Since 2000. What are some of the things that stand out then to you about this community?
Well, the beauty is second to none. Obviously, it doesn't
Definitely.
walk around. I'm biased, of course, but it is. Golf courses, I'm an avid golfer. The golf courses and the facilities are spectacular. The diversity between the Nicklaus and the Dye golf course are fantastic. I mean, they're really, down here, again, I'm biased, but they're as good as it gets. And it's a beautiful place, and there are a lot of really wonderful people, caring, giving. They've been successful in their lives. They're giving back. I can't say enough good things. I mean, in terms of fundraising, they said the first home we did was $35,000 to sponsor it. You have to raise funds. Now it's 70. We don't, the only time we even made any phone calls to raise money was to raise $100,000 to help with the infrastructure. Other than that, I mean, there's There's no golf tournament. There's nothing. We just send a letter and say, you know, we need some help. We're going to sponsor another house at Habitat. And it's no secret how critical the housing is, affordable housing in the Low Country.
In this area,
Yes,
absolutely.
it really is.
Yes,
it is. About how many homes would you say that Colleton has participated in developing thus
With the
far?
funding, a number of our folks have just worked. That's their charity to give back to work. Some of them a tremendous number of hours. You know, 2 or 3 days a week. And one of the great things about Habitat is that you can go 8 to 12. You get on the website. I'm available. It's Tuesday to Saturday. You don't have to do anything. You just show up. But you book it online. We've funded 11. This will be our 11th home coming up.
Oh,
There's
wow.
no organization locally that's anything close to that.
No, I don't think so,
It's a testament to our members. They're just phenomenal.
So they're just, in a sense, giving from the heart. You just direct support letters and requesting, and that's
it.
how it's all been funded.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Now, I understand, though, that you have a very special home that you're working on right now.
We do. You know, ever since I got involved with Habitat in 2000, when I found out what you needed to do, how you sponsor a home, how you qualify. So ever since 2001, and we funded, you know, 5, 6, 7 homes, kept going, and I said, we need to get one for one of our own employees. But it's difficult. It's not easy. I mean, you can't snap your fingers. There's a qualification program. There's 400 hours of sweat equity. There's lessons in home ownership. There's credit worthiness. There's all these things you have to do. And so finally, we have an individual who works in our maintenance department. His name is Pedro Bermudez, who is going to get the 16th home in the first phase, which was been pushed back for delays, but in January, it'll break ground for his home, and it's exciting. He has 2 grandchildren to live with him, and it's fantastic.
That's great.
Wow.
That is great. And you all can go out there to the site and take part of that too, which is wonderful opportunity to do, and just really invest, not just with your funds, but with your time.
Yes.
Right, and we will. We have, it seems like a number of our people work all the time, just on whatever house. But there seems to be a lot more interest when it's a home that we've funded, that we've raised the money for. And I would encourage anybody that's never been to a Habitat dedication to go, just to watch it. It's very brief, but the family's there. You see these 8-year-old kids, 10-year-old children. Their eyes are as big as silver dollars. They've never had their own bedroom. They want to take you in and show you. It's really exciting.
I've been to those myself. We've done a lot of
Oh,
those
yes.
filmings for the station here, and you're so right. It's wonderful to see the hands-on and to see them working. They're being a part of the progress and the process. That's a wonderful thing.
I have to say, I'm continually impressed when I come to Colleton that while, as you said, beautiful community, the outward focus in this community, I think it's so easy when you live here to live an inward life. Oh, look at my pretty house. Oh, look at my pretty yard. Your
Let's go play
outward
golf.
focus on the community blows me away. And would you say that is sort of a categorical point of view here? Because it's certainly been the people I've run across, that's really how they live their lives here.
I think so. You can stay on campus. I mean, or
And
you can
never
get out
leave
and
and
look
be
around.
fine, yeah.
There's a big world out there, and it's a special place. And I leave for half the year and go back to Pennsylvania. And I think anybody that ever, and we don't have many, but anybody complains, we should prescribe a trip away for a couple of months and
no
then come
kidding.
back to really appreciate what we have here. It's phenomenal. It really is. And there are a lot of wonderful people here, beautiful people outside and inside.
So if someone is looking around to decide as a post-retirement or part-time year residence, give us a couple of big points about Colleton River.
Well, you don't need to go anywhere else.
You're in a great location because you're right at the mouth of Hilton Head. You're a heartbeat away from Bluffton, Savannah and Charleston. I mean, where you're located on this side of the bridge, some people would say that's an argument alone, is that you don't have to deal with the bridge traffic and you still have this breathtaking community that you're living in.
Well, again, if you're an outdoor person, as I am, and if you like golf, if you like tennis, swimming, fitness, now we have a new learning center that's fantastic. It was lacking. It's an amenity that we needed, a great practice park for golf. Again, obviously, we can talk about all the other things the millennials want to do, but it's a golf community. But there's a lot of things to do with that. It's not just golf.
Well, we have enjoyed hearing all about this wonderful Colleton Cares program, and we hope you all have too. Thank you for joining us for this episode of 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.